Aloha and welcome to the Murph's Place 808 for the Love of Golf podcast. I am your host, Murph. What is going on, peeps? It's been a minute. I've been a little tied up with work. Work's getting in the way. Although I have to work, and I'm not making enough money on the podcast to quit work. So anyhow, work's been taking up a lot of my time, and so I've not been able to get a podcast out. I apologize for that, but I had some free time and thought I need to get something out. We haven't talked about anything for a couple of weeks, so let's get right into it. I'll tell you, I don't believe we spoke about this or talked about it on the last podcast, but we had a lot of rain, and Moanalua was not in the best of shape. The mower broke, and then we had all that rain, and we couldn't mow. Well, actually, the rain occurred. And then the mower had broke and we weren't able to mow because of the ground being wet and the mower not working. So we got a new mower. However, it wasn't the type that we needed to mow. But they still played. A lot of the guys still played. We did have a problem trying to find the balls in the fairway because the grass was so high. But everything now is back in its correct place. The grass has been mowed, and I've got to give a shout out to all the guys that helped out. Mike, one of our starters, our head starter, he had some buddies that chipped in, and they were out there with push mowers mowing the fairways. So a shout out to those guys. Thank you guys for chipping in and helping getting the course back in shape for the members, because there were a lot of members that were not happy due to the course conditions. But anyhow, in the FIA, Joe P still retains the belt. Like I said, the place wasn't in great shape, but they still played. It's crazy. Nobody can get the belt from him. So I don't like I said, the last time it's sitting in the cart barn. He doesn't even want to take it home anymore because he's just tired of it. He doesn't want to carry it around. He doesn't want to remember to bring it every Sunday to defend it. But not only that, but he had missed a couple of Sundays because of family commitments and stuff. So if you don't come to defend the belt, you have to leave the belt there so whoever plays has an opportunity to win it. But anyhow, Beach Boys. We played Coral Creek last week, and the course was okay. And then we went and played Kapolei. Actually, last week we played Kapolei, and I didn't play too bad. Kapolei is always in great shape, but I did win a little bit of money. Shot 76, so I was able to get my golf basically paid for, and then some. Made a little bit on top of that. And then Todd, he hadn't been there for like a year, and his handicap was 26 per gin, and we go by gin. So he was like, well, I'm a 14. And I said, well, you got to play by what the gin says. And sure enough, he ended up playing really good. Shot like a net 28 on the back nine and a net 62 or 63 to win. He scooped all the low nets, low net back, low net front, low net overall. So there were some guys that weren't too happy, but you got to play to your handicap. And we're going to talk about that in a couple of minutes about handicaps. I know we've discussed it in the past, but I want to bring something up about it also again. Saturday, the VGA played Hawaii Kai. I did not play because a buddy of mine invited me to come and play Mid-Pac. He's a member at Mid-Pac, and it was my birthday on Saturday, so he wanted me to come out and play with them, with their group. So Friday night I had to work, and I didn't get home until after 1 a.m. So I did set the alarms, 2 alarms. I did not even hear him, and he called me. The tee time was 8:30. He called me about 20 after 8, wanting to know where I was at, and he could tell by me answering the phone that he had woke me up. So I was not able to get out and play Mid-Pac, and I ended up not getting able to play the VGA tournament at Hawaii Kai. And that's another thing about Hawaii Kai. Every time I've played it recently, in the past, it's been not in the best of shape. It's been pretty crappy. So, but then Rob told me, one of the guys that plays Beach Boys, Rob told me, he lives out there, that the times that he's been playing it or whatever, and it's in pretty good shape. So I don't know what to do. I don't want to go out there and waste my time if it's not in good shape. And when I say good shape, I'm just saying not in like immaculate conditions and anything like Huakale or Wailai shape or Kapolei, just in good shape. There was no fairways. You're hitting off dirt the last time I was there. The greens were horrible. So I just don't want to waste my money going out there paying that when I could be playing here, with my buddies paying a little bit more money at a really nice course. So, PGA news. Let's take a short break before we get into that, and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Before we get into PGA, what I was saying about the handicap stuff. So we had like 3 new people join the club, and a couple of them had GHIN numbers and had handicaps. And the one person that joined gave me their GHIN, and I plugged it in and transferred him to our club, and it said he was like a 0 or a 1 or a +1 or something like that. But in the first time we went and played, he was like a +1 or +2 for his course handicap at the course we were playing. And he was complaining about that, saying that that's not his real handicap. He's more like a 12 or a 14, but his handicap is that low because he entered a bunch of low scores to get his handicap down to play in some of these tournaments. Well, we had that situation with another member in the club, and she had to play to that lower handicap when she came back. That's basically, you can't do that. That is basically cheating. Number one, you're cheating yourself mainly when you do that, when you enter low scores to get a low handicap. It's also cheating when you enter higher scores to make your handicap higher, which is more along the lines that people do if they are going to enter false scores or higher scores. They do it for that reason, so they get more of a handicap. But the people that want to play in these tournaments that require your handicap to be low, they enter these lower scores, and then when they play, they want to say, oh, well, that's not my handicap. Well, it is. The Beach Boys goes by the GHIN number. Whatever your GHIN handicap is, that's what we go by. So he complained about it, and then he proceeded to shoot like 78. And then this past Monday, he shot a 73. So, and then I told him, I'm like, yeah, that's your handicap. You're shooting, you're playing good. Oh, then you're trying to make excuses. So don't put inflated handicaps scores into the handicap system to get your handicap either lower or higher. You're supposed to enter every score into this handicap system when you play. It's not like you only enter the low ones or you only enter the high ones. You enter all of them, and your that is your handicap. You don't want to have a low handicap like he had a +1 or a +2, and then he goes out there and shoots 90 or 100 or 105. Nobody's going to believe. Now, don't get me wrong. There are days that a low handicap will have a high score. Even the pros do it. I mean, to them shooting 85, 86, 87 is like us shooting 100. To them, those are high scores. So everybody can have a bad day. But to consistently do it, if you're getting your handicap down to play in these tournaments, and then you go to the tournament, and every tournament you play, you're shooting 100 or 90 something, then people are going to be suspicious about if that's your true handicap. And some people do it. There's a word for it, and I'm not sure exactly what it is. I'll try to look it up and let you guys know on the next podcast. But there's a word for it when you enter lower scores to get your handicap low. There's a word for it. And the other way is called sandbagging. So when you enter it to get it higher, when you only enter high scores. So just make sure you enter all your scores. If you're going to enter scores into the handicap system, that makes it a level, even playing field for everybody. Enter all your scores. I mean, this game is mainly about, this game is about integrity. And there's no referees out there. You have to call the penalties on yourself. Nobody's going to call them on you. I mean, somebody may say, hey, your ball moved or whatever, but you have to have the integrity and the honesty to call penalties on yourself. If you commit a penalty, you have to call it on yourself and take the appropriate measures to correct it. So that's one of the biggest things that I really love about this game is that it tests your integrity, and it makes you, look at yourself in an honest way. That even if I'm playing by myself, I follow the rules. I don't cheat. I should have made that putt. No, I didn't make it. It takes integrity, and you'll be a better person for it. Believe me. So enough about that. But like I said, just enter all your scores. To me, that's cheating. And you're going to pay the price for it, especially if it's an inflated thing, or even if it's a lower thing. You're going to pay the price for it. You're not going to shoot what they say is play to your handicap if you're not doing that on a consistent basis. All right, PGA news. We've had a couple tournaments. The American Express, that was played 2 weeks ago. Hudson Swafford shot a 23 under and won by 2 strokes over Tom Hoge. Hudson, that was his second time he has won this tournament in the last 5 years. He's won it twice. After that tournament, you had the Farmers Insurance Open at Torrey Pines. Luke List won that in a playoff with Will Zalatoris on the first hole of the playoff. He shot 15 under and had to wait after his round to see if he was going to have to play in a playoff. What was also interesting about that was that Brent Grant actually Monday qualified for that tournament, the Farmers Insurance Open. And as you guys know, Brent Grant is our guy, our local guy that we keep an eye on the Korn Ferry Tour. And so he came over for the Sony Open, and he played in the Sony Open, just missed the cut. Then he Monday qualified. In the Sony Open, he had a sponsor exemption. And then in the Farmers Insurance, he Monday qualified, and he shot 68 to qualify for his second PGA event this year. He shot 71, 75 in the Farmers Insurance and missed the cut by 4 strokes. So congrats to Brent. I mean, he's playing on the Korn Ferry Tour, and those guys played the Bahamas Great Abaco Classic January 23rd through the 26th. Brent did not play in that one, obviously. And then February 3rd through February 6th was the Panama Championship. I don't think he played in that one either. But I was looking at some of his stats, and I'm pretty sure I brought this up in the last podcast, but at the Sony Open, every driver hole, every hole that he hit driver on, every drive was over 300 yards. There was a couple like 340, 330, 320 something. I mean, he is, I believe he finished last year. Well, I know he finished last year on the Korn Ferry Tour ranked 63rd. He scored 769 points. And he had 5 top 10 finishes. He had 12 top 25 finishes. And his scoring average was 70.12. And his career low round was 63. He played 37 events and made 19 cuts and made a little over $170,000. I believe he finished number 1 in driving distance for the Korn Ferry Tour. So I'm really excited about this year coming up. Like I said, the Sony, he only missed the cut. He barely missed the cut, 1 or 2 strokes. And at the Farmers, he missed it by 4. So I'm really excited for this season for Brent, and hopefully we can get him on the show. I'd like to get him on before the season starts. I don't want to bother him during the season, and I'm not sure. I'll have to text him and see what dates he's playing. I'll try to get a schedule ahead of time, because I know they don't always. Some of them, when you go to the PGA Tour website, you can pull up by the tournament, and they'll tell you what the field is, who's playing in it. But the Korn Ferry Tour, they don't do that for every tournament, or if they do, it's after the week of the tournament starts, like on Thursday. And by then, I've already done the podcast and got it out usually before that, and so I won't know until Monday after the tournament's over, or Thursday when the tournament starts, but I won't be able to broadcast it until Monday when we do the podcast. So, but other than that, let's take another short break, and we'll be right back. After releasing a song every single week last year, Corey Gossett is dropping an album that sums up everything you may have missed. Boy Meets World is available on February 4th. Until then, go listen to the new album from C Money Baby, Don't Forget the Baby, which includes features from Ohio's best upcoming artists Doobie and Yellow Pain. In 2022, Smart Boy Studios is leveling up their merch game. The new store, shop.smartboystudios.com, has some new products and designs. They will be dropping new designs and items every season this year. Follow at Smart Boy Studios on social media to participate in monthly merch giveaways, and visit the website to get your merch now. As always, head to www.smartboystudios.com to stay up to date on new music, new videos, new merch, and any upcoming events. All right, welcome back, everybody. So just a quick note on the ad there, the shop, Smart Boy Studios. Corey Gossett, I mean, I told you guys this. He was dropping, it was so impressive. He dropped a song every week for a year, 52 weeks, 52 songs. And they were great songs. And I talked about it before. They were out here filming a music video for one of the songs. I don't think they've put it out yet. The last time I talked to them, they haven't put it out, but they're working on it, getting it taken care of. And I got word the other day that my son was coming back out in April. So looking forward to that. I don't believe he's bringing any artists out. I think he's bringing his girlfriend, which he probably ought to do since he's been out here twice without her. So I told him, yeah, you better get her out here before you bring anybody else out, or she's not, she may not be your girlfriend much longer. Anyhow, I hope you guys are staying safe. I hope you guys are playing golf. It's kind of weird. Things are still kind of not obviously back to normal over here in Hawaii. Some parts of the mainland, it seems to be getting closer, but hopefully the golf courses have pretty much gone back to their regular operations. You can take the flag stick out now. There's rakes in the bunkers, all kinds of stuff like that. There was and I want to discuss this also. There was a question brought up about a couple of rules things. The first is we were playing and a guy hit his ball in the bunker, and we get up there and it's not in a shoe print, but it looked like it was in a little recessed area where somebody raked, but they kind of got heavy with the rake or whatever, and it made this little lump or whatever. And he wanted to know if he could move it. No, it's not. I mean, if you want to make a local rule for your club that, you can remove it out of a shoe print or whatever, but technically you're not allowed to move it. You have to play it. Now, you could take an unplayable lie with penalty of 1 stroke and drop it in the bunker, or you can take an unplayable lie and take it out of the bunker, but you have to add 2 strokes and play it from there. You have to play it in the bunker where it lies. Now, they did change a couple of things about the bunker play. You are now allowed to, say you were walking in the bunker and you step down into it and you're losing your balance and you put your club down to catch yourself. That is now legal. That is not a penalty. Now, you cannot test the sand. You can't ground your club behind the ball and make a stroke. But if you have your, like I said, if you're walking in the bunker and you're going to fall or slip, you can put your club down into the sand to brace yourself so that you don't do that. That's one of the rules changes that they made. They also made the rules change, and now you can remove loose impediments. So if there's a rock or a leaf or something like that near your ball, you can move it. Now, obviously, if it's under your ball, you cannot move it. You can't lift your ball and remove the impediment. You have to play it as it lays. And you might have seen there was a PGA event. I believe it was John Rahm. He made a couple of practice swings in a bunker, and as he made his backswing, his club brushed the sand behind his ball. And he not only did it once, he did it twice. And they caught that on camera, and they penalized him for that. That was a penalty. And there was another, I think it was Rory, was picking up what he believed was a rock behind his ball in the bunker. And when he picked it up, it was kind of like, it was sand, but it was like kind of formed, and it kind of crushed or disintegrated when he picked it up. He also got a penalty because that was the sand, it wasn't a loose impediment. So there had been a couple of rules changes as far as the bunkers go, but technically, like I said, even if you hit into a shoe print, unless it's a local rule made by whatever club you're playing with, whatever group, you normally have to play it out of that. And it's kind of disrespectful from the person that was in the bunker that did not rake it after they got done. Always make sure you rake your bunker. Always make sure you fix your ball marks on the greens. If you've ever been on a green and you see all these, brown spots or ball holes where the ball was, try to fix that if it's not been repaired. And always, like I said before, when you fix a ball mark in the green, you put your divot tool on the edge of the mark and you push it towards the center gently. You push it all the way around the hole and then tap it down with your putter. Don't stick your tool in and then lift up, because what that does is it tears the roots of the grass and then it won't grow. It'll leave that brown spot like you see on some of the greens. So always put your tool in around the edge of the ball mark and push it towards the center of the ball mark and then tap it down with your putter. If you guys do that, it's going to make the greens, it'll keep the greens in better shape and people will putt better. But always rake your bunkers, always fix your divots. If you hit a ball in the fairway, that's one of the rules changes that I wish they would have made and they didn't. If you hit your ball in the fairway and you hit your second shot or third shot, whatever it may be, and you make a divot in the fairway, fill it with sand or replace the grass, replace the divot back in the hole and tap it down. The reason being is who wants to get penalized for hitting a ball in the middle of the fairway and they land in somebody's divot that they didn't fix? And now you have to hit out of that. And that is not an easy shot. So just fill it with sand, fix it, or put the grass back, fix it, so that next person, if they do land on it, they land on your grass or in the sand, and they have a better shot than being in a hole left by your club. That was one of the rules I wish they would have changed when they had the last rule changes, was that you were able to get relief from that, because it's not really your fault, and why should you be penalized for hitting a good shot? But they did not change that rule. It's still the same. So if you guys got any rules questions or topics you want me to cover, please shoot me an email at merceplace808@gmail.com. if you'd like to sponsor the podcast, and I want to thank all the people that sponsor it, I really appreciate it. It helps me keep putting out content out when I'm not getting bogged down at work or not able to have time to get it out. But I always have something. I always get something out. So I appreciate you guys listening. If you, like I said, if you guys have any questions or topics you want me to cover, please shoot me an email. Stay safe. Practice if you're in those winter months where you're not able to get out and play any golf or hit the range. Practice, go inside. I used to practice down in my basement, chipping balls into my couch in the basement, or putting even inside. If you're out playing golf, if you're still able to play golf, man, have fun. Hit them straight, hit them long, but don't hit them very often. Aloha, everybody.